Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and of course, our partners that hold us down. I'm Ron Grant. Welcome back to Season 6 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show that is poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Now don't worry, it doesn't always involve suits, bow ties, but instead real-life lessons and conversations that truly translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. My guest today is a veteran journalist. Of course, we know the name, we know the voice. In my opinion, he's an icon, the one and only Dean the Sportsman Greenaway, my colleague and friend who's going to talk to us about his longevity in this career, of course, his love for sports, and the advocacy of community. It is a voice that when he speaks, for some reason, persons listen, even if it has to do with potholes. We'll be right back. We're going to have the conversation. We're going to ask him the hard questions. Most importantly, we're going to have some fun. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Gentlemen, it's time to discover That Guy Experience. We are a product line specifically catering to the men with beards. Our products are 100% natural and handmade right here in the BVI. Butters, oils, and cleansing products, all designed to add softeners, shine, and growth to your beard and hair. Visit us at Meraki Hair Clinic or thatguybvi.com and begin your journey as that guy. We are a life-changing experience. That Guy Hair and Beard Products.
Orange alert! Orange alert! Fire is spreading across the BVI! The fastest, most reliable, and affordable fiber internet service is here for you! Look out for fire in these new locations: Slaney, Duff Bottom, Manual Reef, Seacouse Bay, Albion, Hannah's, Palestina, Pleasant Valley, and Havers. Fiber is in your area. Call 444-4444 or visit a CCT store to find out more and bring it home. More locations coming soon.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Season 6 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman. To say that I am honored is an understatement. To be joined by the one and only Dean the Sportsman Greenaway. Dean, thank you for accepting and welcome to the set.
Yep.
As I mentioned in the introduction, you are a veteran journalist, radio professional, sportsman, a retired civil servant. You have been in this arena of being the voice for the voiceless for longer than I've been alive, almost 40 years, okay? I want to speak about your introduction to the media space as a journalist, radio personality, and of course you have a sports beat. How did that come about?
Well, thanks for inviting me, first of all. I was walking across the campus of the University of Colorado in 1980 at the age of 21, going to meet my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I was home. I saw Mr. Carris Penn. I know him to be an active man in East End. He retired. He went home, sit down, and I saw how he deteriorated. Mm-hmm. And within 2 years, he was dead.
Okay.
On my way home, I decided, looked at what I would like to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know what I wanted to do when I retired.
Okay.
I identify my likes, which is writing, which is a hobby. So I said that when I get in my 40s, I will start writing, a writing career. Mm-hmm. Because I was still competing in athletics, traveling the world. And when I came home in 1985, I somehow ended up by the Beacon, and I was just because I saw the Beacon. I was on the first Olympic team.
Okay.
We were in Los Angeles, and then I came home and I started writing commentaries because I was seeing things, and I'm like, okay, so why is it? So I started writing. Then, Honorable Carl Dawson, he was the Beacon sports writer.
Okay.
He was getting to go to the University of the West Indies, and then they asked me, well, since you just write, would you be, and you're in sports, would you be interested in covering the sports for us? That's how it started.
Wonderful.
So, but I was a social activist. It was never about me. It isn't about me. It's about things for the betterment of the country. People see nowadays that I post. I have basically evolved with the technology.
Okay.
Because, I mean, when I started out, there were no computers. I had no laptop or anything. I remember I used to take my stories handwritten. I'm glad they could decipher what I wrote. Right. Even though there were a few headlines that had the wrong thing because they didn't understand what I was writing. And I remember one time I saw here in sports a need for more information to get to people. And there was the Beacon and the Islands, and everything was just weekly. And I said, you know what? Let me approach the radio stations about doing sports. I will send this stuff to you. I wrote Rodney and ZBVI. Rodney liked the idea. I said, well, I will, have the stuff emailed to you so your on-air personnel could read it. And he go, well, why don't you come and do it? And I started stuttering and wobbling. I got hot because I never see myself in radio. I saw myself as a writer. I would eventually get into photography. That was it.
So you never saw yourself as a radio personality?
No.
But let me just read the statistics, and you could tell me if I got them right. 38 years as a journalist, 30 years in radio, 27 years sports beat, okay, and so almost 40 years, I would say, of being a social activist. So when you look at that length of time that has passed, and of course, you mentioned about you evolving with social media, of course, the evolution of all things, and the development of how you share the information, and wanting the goal to always be about people and getting the message across. What would you say about the longevity of your career?
Well, it all started with a plan because everything was about retirement.
Okay.
It had nothing to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
So lesson number one, you had a plan.
A plan, yeah, plan. My plan came from track and field.
Okay.
I ran the 100, 200, 400. When I didn't have a coach, I used to have to plan out my workouts. So everything started from there. And to this day, I plan the week, whatever I'm going to cover,
Understood.
how I'm going to do, what I'm going to do.
Intentional.
Yeah, no, because it's part of the discipline. Okay, the discipline started from in sports and it's carried through my life.
I want to talk about sports a bit because, of course, that is who you are, a bit of who you are, and a young athlete. Tell us about the early days and some of your interactions as an athlete growing up, a young man.
Well, I ran, everybody go to high school. The opportunities that guys have nowadays, we didn't have no bunch of coaches. We didn't have the facilities. I ran maybe 5 meets a year.
Okay.
I remember I got the Carifta games. I made the finals. And then I got an opportunity to go to school. Ray O'Neill was instrumental in that. And there were this coach at UTEP, where Josh Hill is now, Guy Hilson, where Guy Hill went. His Ted Banks was, and I just learned last year when I was inducted in the Pasadena City College Hall of Fame, that Ted Banks used to coach at Pasadena City College. He sent a list of colleges that we might try. And I saw Pasadena, and my cousin was living in Pasadena. So I called him and asked him if I would be able to stay with him. He said, man, come up, yeah. That's how we ended up at Pasadena. So that's how it started. And then I went to Carifta in 78. So I won BVI's first Carifta medal. I was the first college BVI athlete to win a conference title in college. I won the Big 8 conference 400 meters. Just we are this year now, we have about 21 persons have won 42 titles since I won the first in 79. Then in 79, I won a medal at the Central American and Caribbean Championships. In 1980, we couldn't go to the Olympic Games, or the Pan Am Games, next door, which were in Puerto Rico. And everybody wondered why I wasn't there. But it was because we didn't have an Olympic committee. So my performance had opened the eyes as to you need to have an Olympic committee to go to any of the games. And you must have at least 5 sports on the Olympic program to become a member of the International Olympic Committee.
Understood.
So we had the 5 sports to start, and in 1980, the Olympic Committee was formed. So I was like on the first team to the CAC Games in Cuba in 82, the Pan Am Games in Venezuela in 83, the Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 84. I have never competed at the Commonwealth Games, but I have been there as what you call the chef de mission, the person who's been in charge. So I've been the chef de mission to the CAC, Pan Am, Olympic, and Commonwealth Games.
Understood.
So a lot of it started basically from my career chasing fowls up in East End.
I have to ask you, you mentioned about what I get from it, a very humble beginning growing up. Tell us about that space and who were some of the people that you would say contributed to your success?
Well, I think I got started with my grandparents.
Okay.
And next door was Jenny Wheatley. And I think probably I didn't realize till later on the influence of Jenny Wheatley, because every morning I woke up to some bush tea. I lived in the house next door to her. And she always had to give me something to read that she was writing. So I was basically proofreading a lot of what she write. And I guess subconsciously, things started from there. And
that relationship transcended throughout your life.
Yes. And to this day, what I used to do, Sam Davies, every Saturday, we used to go out Red Rock on the Reef. I learned to cook rice out there. My first assignment in college, they asked us in an English class to write about anything. I wrote about a coconut feck shanty. This teacher come up, what's a coconut feck? She could not believe the description. Tell her I out there running shellfish, picking conch, turning up rock looking wilk. And to this day, what I have done since I retired from government, I have toured reefs around Tatol. I still have about 2 more to go once the tide is low. But I have gone back into the things that I missed when I went to college at 17. So while everybody want to go, put me on the beach.
Simple things.
Yeah, let me go swim. Let me go walk out in the Lucerne, watch the birds, the fish. I just relax.
Is it safe to say that you are enjoying the heck out of your retirement?
Retirement
still working,
has
of course,
gone better and beyond the boundaries of my imagination. Because a lot of things I'm doing, I never saw myself, as I said, in radio. I think what was a turning point, I was in Jamaica in 2001 with she's now my wife. And listening to the radio, I heard there was the World Athletics Championships coming from Osaka, Japan. And you'd hear this little thing cut in, and these guys are reporting on the Jamaican athletes. And I'm like, man, I would love us to get to that level that I could do this one day. In 2018, I was able to go with the team to Toronto and start doing radio reports from there. So since 2018, I've gone to the Pan Am Games. I've been covering especially the Carifta Games, following our young athletes around, because I think I didn't have that opportunity where somebody was there. But also I am able now to help them and work with them on doing interviews, because you find a lot of our kids are shy. Some of them I've had to talk to, say, hey, it might not be me. You might be the only person somebody ever meets from the British Virgin Islands, and they are going to judge people in the British Virgin Islands by you.
Your presentation.
Yes, so representing is important. So those are the kind of things I try to help them with.
Amazing. We are going to take a quick commercial break. Of course, we are chopping it up with the man himself, Dean the Sportsman Greenaway. In my opinion, my humble opinion, the icon that we are blessed to still have with us, making a change. That's what you call a change maker. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are chopping it up with the man himself, Dean the Sportsman Greenaway. Dean, you are a husband, father, 3 girls, and you seem to, which is a beautiful thing, of course, enjoy the love and company of your amazing family. As a father and a husband, what would you say you're most proud of?
Having a family.
Okay.
Because, I think you do a lot of things, but people don't often see that the people behind that support you, the little things they do that allow me to do the things I do. That is so important. Sometime I might go somewhere, one of my classic moments is to go to a sporting event, turn on the camera and realize you don't have the card in it. Or you leave the battery charging. They bring it to me. I have to meet them halfway. They cuss me and you're always forgetting something. But, my daughter, Daddy, make a list. You make a list of everything.
Yeah.
That's the only advice I don't take.
That's the only advice you don't take. Wonderful. I have to ask you, as a Virgin Islander, someone who has, again, been a change maker, continues to be a change maker, being the voice and representation of not only sports, but when it comes to social issues. All of this remarkable work. And every time since I've been back home, almost 10 years now, this is 2 election cycles that I've been a part of, working both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. And your name keeps coming up. And I've asked you, this on many occasions, but I want to publicly put it out there. When you speak again about certain issues, they seem to gather attention, people listen, the authorities actually, whether it is by sheer embarrassment, they seem to get going. But why has Dean not considered political office?
When I came home and I started writing, everybody thought I want to be a politician. I had no idea that that's what people used to do because I was out the country. Every election since 1986, I've been asked about running for politics. I remember when Willard Wheatley, the former chief minister, I've been in groups with them. And, that is not me. I prefer to agitate because what I realize, look at all the people that have been in the House of Assembly over the years. Okay? They can brag about they've been in their years of this, but how has it made a difference in the lives of people? Why are we still driving on the roads conditions we have? Why don't we have running water in a country as small as the British Virgin Islands? I have written about a consumer protection agency since 1985. We are in 2024. Why don't we have a consumer protection agency? Why aren't persons who said they are working, quote unquote, on behalf of the people? Be honest. So I can't associate myself with something or institution that I don't see that matches my values.
Very well said.
For me to get up and go in there and I don't like all the formalities. Okay? Because them formalities, and we still got a bunch of speed hole in the road. While we have improved economically, the infrastructure is terrible. You know, I have traveled to Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, and I've been to Montserrat, where my grandfather was from. But the latter three have been, and I was in Turks and Caicos Islands last year. On a Sunday, I saw a man cleaning the road, and I'm looking like, well, the road ain't dirty. But that pride, okay? I hear people talk about nationalism.
Yes.
It doesn't exist in the BVI as I see it in the other countries. There was a time you could pass through somebody could have put you in the BVI. You could have drive from East End to West End, go all the other islands and didn't know you were in the British Virgin Islands. There was no symbols, nothing with the national colors. You won't see flags around. Now, all of these people who are leading us, what is happening there? Or culture. We hear people talking about keeping culture alive and this and that. I want to understand, why is it that we have let so much the cultural penetration from America taking over us? But when those people come here, they want our foods. They want to experience what we do. Understood. But I don't think we have educated our people in that regard in terms of the thing with culture. You can't be talking about culture once a year. And my friend Velma Chung says it best. Her motto is living the culture every day.
Okay.
I don't see why a lot of people who are out there doing the things are never highlighted. When a politician gets elected, only when you get elected, they don't listen to the people.
Understood.
Okay? Another pet peeve I have. A lot of our people are educated. We send them to schools, universities, globally.
We have more degrees per capita than anyone else.
Exactly. However, you are going to bring a consultant to talk to that individual who you have trained, the consultant is going to say whatever write it and put it in a package. To me, that's an insult to your people.
I agree.
And in the 90s, every time they had asked me to be something with thing, I was always sick because I found it as an insult that you're gonna rape my knowledge,
intelligence, yes,
to give, and then pay them a big salary, and you don't respect your people. That's what politicians do. That is what they have fostered.
I will say this to you, and I totally and wholeheartedly agree, and I make no apology for saying what I'm going to say. There are more ways than one to have impact and influence in a community. And what I've realized, having been so close to the political realm, again, both on the screen and behind, we keep making politics the goalpost for success in this territory, and it is not.
Nope.
It has not, and unfortunately, I don't think it ever will be. You take good people, quality people from their industries, and you put them into politics, just like you said, and a term or 2, 3, 4 pass, and while there are exceptional politicians, I have a few favorites of my own, the list of meaningful success stories, changes, Even with binoculars, you can't see them.
Okay.
So my simple point is, for anyone watching, when you look at your role in a society and where you're going to fit as a change maker, where you're going to fit with impacting and influencing change, stop making politics the goalpost of success, because it's not.
Listen, if I was in politics, who gonna be out there championing the cause that's going on? Nobody's taking up that mantle.
Yeah.
No, okay? The bush around this place is unbelievable. I'm wondering if when people travel, they don't want to see the BVI being better. Because people pay thousands of dollars to come here, and the views, the spectacular views we have, are covered by bush. I have driven from Seacows Bay up over the hill and to come down into town. Before, I used to be able to see all the town. It's overgrowth with bush. Now you take it, people want these, this is what people paying to see. These are memories, and these tourists are going to help sell your country because they are taking these things, and people are going to go, wow, I want to see that. But when they talk about the bush, the roads, water off, sometimes electricity off, what are you going to say? Yes, we have a country with X amount of $1 billion, but it's mismanaged. It isn't prioritized, and the infrastructures in the state we're in. You keep asking for more money, but what are you doing with what you have? Why can't everybody on Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, Jocelyn Dyke have water 24/7? And you tell me you're working on behalf of the people? Which people?
I have a question to ask you in regards to the career choice of being a journalist. Why do you think that there are so little Virgin Islands born journalists? It is a career, and I would say this as a reporter, it is a career that Virgin Islanders seem to shun away from. And why? Tell me why you think that is. If you agree or disagree.
I agree.
Okay.
One of the things I've noticed is here people like to copy what you do. Okay? Why haven't people copied what the sportsman has done? It's simple. People don't read. They're not interested in reading. They're not interested in doing research. When I was president of athletics, I asked people in 2012, I threw it out several times, to start taking an interest and doing statistics and doing whatever. Be someone who could be like me. Look at me, like crazy. They're not interested in reading. They don't, everybody wants something instantaneously. You could go on the web and pull up the information, okay? One of my biggest pet peeves is I put a picture up and people call me or message me asking me what it's about, but I always have a caption. Come on. It says what it is there.
So what should you ask him?
Listen, so to me,
And it proves your point about not reading and not having an interest to read at all.
But not only that. I'm in chat groups. I see people put up a picture. They say a picture worth 1,000 words, but I don't know who the people is. I don't know what the information, right? Sometimes something happen here. Something fly up in the chat. Or somebody said, or even you see on social media, sad. So why the hell are you sad? I'm in your head. Say something, let me know.
Understood.
So I think against that backdrop, and I don't think social media has helped.
Of course not.
In getting people into the profession.
Well, I have another reason I think that we need to get over why I agree with you about the reading and lack of wanting to do research and wanting things very instantaneously. Because we are such a small community, people want the truth, not necessarily when the truth is about them or their brother or their sister, okay? And because we are in such a small community, persons feel as though because you are a Virgin Islander, you are somehow obligated to negate or ignore the truth when it comes to them. I teach your father teach me in school. How are you going to write that article?
You know, the thing is, a lot of people have an adverse relationship with the truth. And I mean, I write about even races. When an athlete run, if the wind is above 2 meters per second, it's illegal. You cannot qualify for anything. Okay. For example, I had a friend who, actually, let me talk about Karine King. Karine King missed the qualifying for a world championship because the wind was 2.1 meters per second. The illegal limit is 2.0. It was 2.1. She couldn't go. Now, you talk about this and people want to know why you're talking about wind and this, because, hey, this is the nature of what it is. This is the truth.
Correct. Yeah.
The numbers don't lie. Okay? So I find that in journalism, people would like you to bend it, bend or this is what it is. I only telling you what happened. I go to sports, I gonna tell you what happened. I'm not a fan. I just came here to get the information. Somebody's gonna tell me what happened.
Well, you keep providing information because we value you, we appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
At least from my end.
Thank you.
And one of the things that I appreciate most about you is in the field of journalism, and because we're so small, the country is so small, but the network of journalists and local journalists that are so small,
yes,
persons often like to pin professionals, media professionals, journalists, reporters against each other. And I'm so honored to be able to have, and you're not the only one, beautiful relationship with all my fellow colleagues on the reporters. But you're always so willing. You're always so generous in giving of information, and I appreciate that about you.
Well, the thing is, you realize that you're in a role to educate, to share information, because there are a lot of things that people don't know. Jenny Wheatley said it right. Yeah. Pass it on.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
I have some fun questions for you. As a Virgin Islander, this one isn't fun, but we're going to get to the fun ones. Is there one thing that you could pinpoint quickly for us that keeps you up at night?
One thing that keeps me up at night, sports.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite Virgin Islands cuisine?
Boy, it can be probably a conch.
Okay, good choice. Do you have a favorite sister island?
I like Virgin Gorda.
Okay.
But I also like the tranquility and the natural beauty of Anegada.
Okay, all right. Did you ever, at one point, past, present, we spoke about politics and politicians. Did you ever have a favorite politician or someone you really admired their work?
I never really was into following politics like that. Because I think I read a lot about what people were doing in the region, and you could see things that they have done. What I have done from a kind of an analysis would be to look at what politicians who weren't considered educated in the early days have done, and the foundation they have laid. They were people persons. Them might come in, you're cooking your pot, them might come in, stick them hand and take out a hot dumpling. They were more genuine.
Okay.
They were more natural. And they had a greater care and concern for getting things done.
Understood.
I mean, you are talking when the budget was not even $1 million. So when people were we have lost that type of politician.
Understood. If you could take someone from Virgin Islands yesteryear, who's no longer with us, to lunch or dinner, who would it be and why?
Wow. Now that's a question. Who would it be and why? I would say Noah Lloyd.
Good choice.
You know why? I know Noel Lloyd, somebody like him who had courage and what drove him, because he saw what people didn't see. And to me, he had a vision. And sometimes when you have a vision and when people can't see what you see, they put labels on you. The first thing is you're crazy. But you have to have
just
courage.
Because you don't get it.
Right. But to be a journalist, you have to have coverage.
Of course. As the young people say, you gotta have some balls.
You gotta have balls to play. But listen, you definitely have to have coverage. So I think a man like Noel Lloyd would be somebody I would have liked to sit with and have a conversation with. Because to me, if it wasn't for Noel Lloyd, we wouldn't have Wikomski.
That's a fact.
Okay? And Agada and all of these things. So, and the other person would be Theodore Faulkner from Anegada.
Good.
Because these were humble individuals.
Servants.
Yes. They just get up and they fought for a cause. In part, and what I would say to everybody is, whatever space you are in, give your contribution to the development of the country. Be courageous. Stand firm in what you believe. Be honest with what you believe in. And go out and do and make a change. Change starts with you taking action. If you don't take action, nothing happens. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen.
Beautiful. I want to thank you so much once again for your decades of contribution, but most importantly, just sitting down with me today and talking with me and imparting your wisdom and knowledge that you've garnered over the years with the next generation, with hopes that we could raise a generation of greatness. I sincerely appreciate you, and thank you for coming and breaking bread with me and allowing me to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
So much. Viewers, that is all the time we have. This is season 6, and we are rocking it. You've heard it here from the man himself, the icon, Dean, the sportsman Greenaway. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.